All right, what is up, everyone? Hope you all are staying safe out there. As always, welcome back to the Ribbon Trading Channel. Today, we're going to look at the Ribbon Suite and look at maybe 6 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, and a 10-day time frame, and look at where price is likely headed. We're going to look at some new additions to the Ribbon Momentum Oscillator and also a new bumper bands indicator that is soon to come out. So stay tuned for all of that. First, let's look at the 6 hour time frame on Bitcoin. This is just the default settings for the ribbons, and we did see some nice price action here. It looks like it works pretty well for the 6 hour time frame with very little changes to the settings. We saw way back in, let's see, December 15th, we saw a closure below the dotted midline, which to me meant bias to the downside. However, it in the next bar recovered that and closed above the dotted support line. So that means swing likely in coming to the upside. So once that closed to the upside, we did see a swing, in fact, into the resistance one almost, just within a couple days there. It did not close, however, above the midline until the 19th. So we could have gotten, if you're playing this on Wix, you can get some nice price moves bouncing between ranges. If it was me, I probably on the 6 hour, if I was playing the 6 hour, would probably take a long here, might take some profit at the midline, might take some more profit at the resistance one band, and then this was a very close test back to the dotted support in here. Might have taken a bit of another long position since I was already going long and waited for either a closure below this dotted, what do we call this? Dotted support. Man, my brain is moving slow today. To exit the trade since I already took a couple, areas of profit. So kind of played this, on the bounces here. And we did get our closure above this midline, which means confirmation for more upside. And then we saw a picture perfect test. It was a wick, but it was a picture perfect test into this dotted resistance line right there. So to me, that would have been the end of the trade, likely a trade to the other side. If I was being a bit more, taking on a bit more risk, I might have taken on a short right there, and that did, because that's often a swing zone, that did in fact reject off of there, and now is several $1,000s below it, and in the risk of closing below the midline. If it closes below the midline, that means I'm looking for a test back to the dotted support band right here, which is currently at 86.3. Probably will slowly move up over the next couple bars to, towards 87K area. However, we are seeing our Ribbon Momentum Oscillator get ready to turn to the downside. Again, these are just default settings. And if it does close to the downside below 90K area, our first target will be support 1, and that has a 75% chance of getting hit. So very high chance of getting hit. If it was me, I probably would wait for the closure. If you are trying to front run it a little bit, you could maybe take a short from here, but that's a very small amount. So, best case scenario, if you're going short here, maybe price pulls back to the midline, but still closes below it, which means confirmation on the ribbons and also confirmation on the momentum oscillator. So that would be, highly likely move, at least to support 1. To me, I might take a little bit of profit there, and then the rest of it whenever it hit the dotted support, wherever that was. So this is, again, the 6 hour time frame, looking quite a bit more bearish than bullish again, it's 6 hours, so short-term time frame. Let's look at the 4 hour right here. Okay, we're looking at the 4 hour time frame. This one also not looking so good. So, had a test into the dotted resistance here. We actually saw a test even into resistance 2 band right there, and then rejected off of that. So this would have been the start of what I would assume a trending move would be. But again, we saw a close. Did it close on that bar below it? I think it did. It's hard to see. It looked like it did. So that would be an immediate invalidation of trending move to the upside and looking for a rejection. And indeed, we saw that again when we saw our target zone get hit right there. And we are in danger if in the next 48 seconds it closes here or lower. That does not look good for short-term price action, and that would be down to 86K area. The Ribbon Momentum Oscillator looks like it also will close to the downside. And if we put this on, do we have, I wonder if I updated this. Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is a good time for me to go to band probability. So this will give us our probability table. You could also go off just the move right here. The mean move is about a 3% move to the downside. This is just looking at the last 500 crosses. So if you want to look at more crosses, you would turn that a lot more So actually, it's interesting. I probably need to update this. Looks like the table right here is wrong because it says it's looking at 1,800 crosses. I'll fix that later. But you can see that the first move it's looking at is December 13th of 2021 to get this data. Now, if you want to get more data, you turn the crosses up. This one's already crossed to the downside. Oh yeah, it just crossed to the downside. So there we go. And our support 1 band is the first target, which has a 85% chance of getting hit. So very high chance, and looks like it's already heading towards there, which is 87.5K. Our support 1 dotted has 55% chance, and that's at 86.7K. So all short-term time frames point down. And yeah, I think that's everything. I want to look at the 4-hour time frame. Maybe we see a bounce off of the 6-hour or the 4-hour around here, and then maybe we see a move up. But currently today, looking definitely more bearish. Let's look at the 1-day time frame here real fast. I think I got it. Oh, this is 6-hour again. This is something else I'm working on. I will talk about it later. Where's my 1-day? 1-day. You know what? I think I just used the 6-hour, so I'm just going to switch to the 1-day there. 1-day time frame, I believe it's crossed to the upside, but just barely, and it's not looking great. It looks like it will cross down below 87.2K, which if the 6-hour and the 4-hour time frame play out, that probably will cross to the downside. So we saw it cross to the upside, and we saw our first target actually get hit. So the cross to the upside happened. It was a very, very small move. It looks like just a couple % move here that happened. Oh, not even that, like a 0.8. I guess, it went up about a couple %, but, if you were to take profit at the midline, that would just be a 0.8% trade. So a very small trade here. It did hit the midline. Resistance 1 was 37%. So I guess, it shows you that is not likely to happen, which is interesting because it looks like that's not going to get hit. That would have been a 5% move with only a 37% chance of getting hit. So that move apparently was not very strong. So according to the indicators, it was not a strong cross to the upside. And it's playing out as the indicators kind of were projecting, I suppose. On the 10-day time frame, not a whole lot to look at here, except for we are continuing to reject off of our dotted support band right there. So again, this is a trending move. Once you see a time frame close below the dotted band or above the dotted band, you expect trending moves to continue. This is continuing. At some point, it will. It looks like it closed right now above 107, which is far, far away from price action. So it probably will take quite a while in the 10-day time frame to play out this bearishness. So if I'm going, more higher term time frame, maybe somewhere in January, we see the higher term time frames really start to turn around and get a bounce. But the monthly, we've been looking at this for a while, does still have a cross to the downside. So maybe again mid-January or like kind of on the 10-day time frame, I was looking for the move to happen into January 11th to 21st area, maybe even into the very beginning of February if this plays out and we see a rejection. So possibly we see some time frames turn around for a short move in January. It moves up into the midline here, which would be about 100, maybe 109K at the highest if I'm looking at the monthly time frame. Maybe it has a wick up on the monthly time frame to around 109K area, and then closes still below that midline and continues down. So if I was looking this on a monthly time frame, could be something like that happens over January and February. Not a whole lot of other information to pull from this except for the monthly is still crossed to the downside, which means general pressure will be down. So all of these moves, it makes sense that they're all getting sold off of and moves to the downside. So anyway, all that to say, if you do not have the ribbon suite, on a lot of different time frames, you can take advantage of them in different ways, and they all generally work in congruence with each other. But that is something that will be on sale here in a few days for Christmas. I'll have a short Christmas sale going on. So there's that. All right, let's look at a couple other strategies. This is the 1 hour AI max. We had a trade take back here on Sunday, December 21st. So that was yesterday. Took a long trade. Unfortunately, it was in a lot of profit. Did not get out of that trade. This is just one of many 1 hour strategies. This is more of a trending strategy, so it's not going to take profit nearly as often. If you want one that's a little bit, safer, not necessarily safer, I would just say it takes profit faster for this time period, it may be safer. There's other strategies for the 1 hour, but this one still in profit, but unfortunately gave up a lot of that profit. The last few trades have been nice small profit trades, and we're seeing a nice 600% gain since 2016. The reason I have this pulled up since 2016 is I wanted to compare it to the new 30-minute strategy. All right, let's jump into the 30-minute time frame and look at the new indicator, the Bumper Bands AI Max Plus. This indicator is built for any time frame and basically any asset. It can be optimized for almost anything. So that's the really great part of it. The downside is it's new, and I only have one strategy built for it so far, and I have a few more in the works, but it doesn't take too long to get some strategies optimized and going. This strategy is available, and the indicator is already available for OG members and lifetime members. It will be released soon for all members, but this is in beta testing, so if you want to trade it at your own risk. And as always, nothing is financial advice. Everything is at your own risk. But this one, just to be very transparent, is not been tested for very long, just a couple weeks here. We do see that this 30-minute strategy is highly profitable. It's since 2016, it's 841% profit, which is pretty massive. There was a pretty big drawdown during the bear market, so be aware that there can be, especially on lower term timeframes, during bear markets, it's really hard to not get drawdowns. You could get that to be a lot better if you optimize it a bit more. However, the total P&L will go down, so it'll be less drawdown in bear markets, but also less profitable in bull markets. So the trade-off is there, but there are ways to optimize it a bit more. Generally, since then, has had pretty decent amount small pullbacks. Most recently here, saw a pullback in August 8th of 2024 to April 8th of 2024 to August 5th. So quite a few months there going sideways and then recovered nicely. Recently here, it has gone sideways again, but pretty small downside compared to what Bitcoin has done, and recently has been recovering pretty well. All right, I think that's about all I wanted to look at today. Besides, I guess we have this 30-minute strategy here that is slowly just making some small short trades, very, very small gains. But if you want something to hedge, it's something that is playable. It has a decent, I think the fees are set at 0.6. So if you have 0.6 fees or lower, I would recommend doing limit orders so you can get better fees, and then your profit factor would go up a bit. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else to talk about. The market has been pretty boring. I guess I think that's everything. I'm going to leave it off there for today. I will make a video soon on the new updates coming for the bumper bands and the ribbon suite. But for now, again, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys next time.